Did you know that Zorro
Use a Viking sword?
Kind of. There's some steps involved. Let's explain. This sword
Evolved into this sword.
when you look at both of them, they don't look that similar.
So let us fill in the missing links.
This is a Viking sword, that's not its official title, but it's basically an arming sword that comes from the time of the Vikings, between the 8 and 1000s.
This evolved directly from the Roman spatha. In fact, some of these used repurposed spatha blades.
The earlier period Viking sword evolved into the knightly arming sword. This is probably the sword that comes to mind when you think of knights in shining armor.
Basically, they changed the pommel, added a crossguard, and changed the profile of the blade.
But these swords still don't look that similar.
So let's introduce you to the side sword.
This is a recreation of a Venetian transitional side sword design somewhere in the late 1400s. You can see that it's basically the same as this arming sword, but they've added a ring guard so that you can put your finger through the guard and then a knuckle bow to protect the hand.
And from this sword, we transition into
The true side sword. These would have been popular in the early to mid 1500s. These are a combination of different sword designs. You still have the cross guard, pommel, and blade of an arming sword, though the blade itself is a little bit slimmer and you have a lot more hand protection.
And this led up to the swept hilt rapier.
You can see that this has even more elaborate hand protection. The blade is thinner and it's more focused on thrusting. And finally we come
To the cup hilt rapier.
This has an even more robust hand protection, and the blade is even thinner and mostly is used for thrusting.
So while these two swords might not seem similar at all,
They actually have a direct lineage all the way back from the Vikings
to Zorro.